Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts about the 40K universe. I am your host Gershwan and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today we continue talking about the demon worlds. We're going to get in depth into each individual demon world that the Imperium knows about. Now if you have not checked out part 1, please go ahead and do that on our channel. Jump on over there. So let's get into 40 Facts about demon worlds. Once a proud fortress world guarding the original Jericho sector capital of Varanus, Bulwark has been claimed by the worshippers of Khorne. Unlike Venrukos, the warp itself did not mutate to the planet. Instead, all the atrocities that were committed on the years following the appearance of the Hadix anomaly were perpetuated by the citizens of Bulwark. Once mighty bastions of adamantium and steel, standing firm against the enemies of the Imperium, now these same structures have become horrible houses, the inhabitants constantly offering up sacrifices to the blood god. Where Aquillas once stood proud over the buildings of the Minotaurums, now sit flesh hounds of Khorne, perched and waiting for the chance to satisfy their eternal hunger with the blood of those that offend their master. Skulls, both human and demon, decorate every outcropping. Walls are lined with spikes, and the aqueducts pump a never-ending torrent of blood into the sea. While these crimes are despicable, the greatest atrocity was saved for the grand temple of the God Emperor. The beautifully stained glass windows, once multicolored and depicting scenes of the Emperor's glory, now are stained only with the blood of those few priests who kept true to their faiths in Bulwark's darkest hour. The skulls of the imperial priesthood were taken from their bodies and placed in a mound in front of the altar. The altar itself, previously depicting a scene of Sebastian Thor being touched by the hand of the Emperor, has been twisted to show the great saint slaying the Emperor with an axe. Behind the altar now sits a throne of bronze, stained red with the blood of those used to appease their patron. And upon it sits the lord of this planet, the demon prince, Krykoat, with a juggernaut of Khorne to either side. This demon prince hears the pleas of his followers. Those that he deems to be worthy are offered the ultimate reward. Their life's blood is taken from them and poured into a goblet made from the skulls of the former planetary governor. This goblet is then dressed and offered directly to the blood god himself in hopes that he will bring victory and bloodshed to his warrior worshippers. Lothar was a mortal champion of Nurgle, born on a backwards planet which remains cut off from the rest of the Imperium to this day. Raised to demonhood by the Plague Lord, he now rules a demon world within the Eye of Terror named Bubantius. Now also called Bubantius, he has shaped this world into one of pestilence and death, covered in boiling lakes of blood from which spheres of fire float into the sky and spread their light across the land. This corrupt world is famous for its vast prayer gangs. The planet's equator is surrounded by a dancing human chain that sings and dances the praises of Nurgle as they circle the planet. As they dance, the revealers slowly develop Nurgle's rot, causing them to eventually mutate into plague-bearer demons. When this happens, the plague-bearers leave to join their master, and new mortals take their place so that the circle is always complete. This theatrical concert pleases Nurgle tremendously. So much so that Bubantius has commanded that the dance should never cease. The demon world of Contrition, within the inner vortex of the Screaming Vortex, beyond the demon world of Crucible, lies what many believe to be the ultimate world of the Screaming Vortex, Contrition. The realm exists as a demonic city, its structure continuously cast down and rebuilt as each of the dark gods gain and loses ascendancy. Demons are said to hold court in the city of Contrition. Organizing the most imaginative lies, they whisper them into the hearts of mortals. It is said that the entire demonic metropolis resounds to the glorious lies of these unworthy populace. The demons vying continuously with one another to invent ever more perpetuous schemes to ensnare the souls of mankind. Those mortals entrapped by the demon's duplicity are said to be dragged back to Contrition, to be imprisoned within the dungeons deep in its bowels. What fate awaits such entrapped souls in those grim obliques is beyond the imagination of even the most warp-touched heretic. Demon World of Koranin. When the Hadix anomaly appeared in reality, Tzeentch, the Changer of Ways, claimed the feral world of Koranian as its own. The change brought upon were subtle at first. Trees would sway when there was no wind. Roads no longer had the same endpoint, and other such small differences. The superstitious tribemen of the planet turned to their mystics and soothsayers for answers, but the only response they got were to accept the changes as a sign from their god. Over a period of years, children born to the tribesmen were mutated. Some would have an extra limb, others would merely have eyelids that closed from the side. In an effort to appease their god, who protected them from the angry red scar in the sky, the people of Koranin venerated these changed ones and made them the leaders of the tribe. It was not until 2 full generations had passed did the tribesmen finally receive an obvious sign from their god. When an avatar of Tzeentch revealed itself to the people of Koranin, it did so with a flair for the dramatic. Shrubbery grew into a maze that followed the seemingly random steps of the demon. The leaves on every tree that the demon passed fell from the branches and were replaced with perfect replicas made of unholy warp fire. Rivers switched the direction they flowed every time they were crossed. It was not until the demon reached the largest tribal settlement on the planet that the people truly understood what their god was capable of. The demon looked upon its worshippers and pointed to a small boy. This boy had escaped the corrupting touch of the warp and was physically sound. The boy strode up to the demon and knelt before it. The demon placed a single claw-like hand upon the boy's head and said a few words in an unpronounceable language. With a flash of violent fire, the boy was changed from a perfect specimen of a human to a perfect specimen of horror of Tzeentch. From that day forward, the people of Koranin heaped offerings and prayers onto the avatar of their new master, Tzeentch. Demon World of Crucible. The first of the unknown demon worlds within the lower vortex of the Screaming Vortex is known to warpseers and heretics as Crucible, and it is a realm of pain and torment beyond anything even the most debased of mortals can imagine. This pain, so it is said, is born of the experiences felt by the original denizens of the heaven worlds that comprise the region of space that became the Screaming Vortex during the fall of the Eldar at the moment their existence was ended. And no matter which of the Chaos powers has control, that pain is so relentlessly intense it can never be erased. The nature of Crucible depends on which of the dark gods and their demon legions has control over it. When Khorne is in its ascendance, it is a realm of crude violence and savage anger, meted out on the souls of mortals who died in battle. When Slaanesh rules, the violence is enacted tenderly, as a gift between lovers. When Nurgle gains power over the demon world, the entrapped souls experience an eternity of decay and rebirth. When Tzeentch resides on Crucible, the pain is that of sanity torn asunder, as the self is lost amidst a sea of madness. Demon World of Jacuzzi. A demon world within the Eye of Terror, dedicated to the worship of Khorne, the blood god. Like many demon worlds, Jacuzzi is mind-warpingly strange, befitting of a world dedicated to Khorne. The world's greatest feature is a sea of blood, which connects all the chaotically strange cities of the planet. Each city has its own arena where gladiatorial games are held in honor of the blood god. Some are no more than shanty towns, sitting atop the ocean of blood, while another is a great crystal which resonates with music dedicated to the Lord of Battle, and another is nothing but a battlefield where men are constantly sent into their deaths, only to add to the Skull Throne. Yet another is a massive graveyard where the titanic remains of gigantic warriors and their weapons litter the ground and have been turned into dwellings by the new inhabitants. Each Jacuzzi city honors the blood god in its own way. Underneath these great cities of Jacuzzi are many caverns, where dwell the Xenos called the Scalphalides, who form the slave class of the demon world. The most prominent facade of Jacuzzi worship of the blood god are the gladiatorial games held on the world where tens of thousands meet their death every day. There are many members of the ruling class on the world ranging from demons, barbarian chieftains, Amazon huntresses, chaos space marines, and poor men trying to act like nobility. They often get into petty squabbles, which always results in open warfare. The main occupation of these leaders is to raid other worlds in the Eye of Terror, and in the physical universe for slaves to fight in the great arenas of Khorne. They all, however, ultimately submit to the rule of Lord Ambondrake, a reptilian demon prince who runs the games and commands the greatest Khornate army on Jacuzzi. There are many separate military forces on Jacuzzi, all dedicated to the blood god. The most notable of these is the Ophidian Guard of Lord Ebondrake. These vicious warriors are armored in all black and armed with power swords. They are both disciplined and brutal in combat, fitting servants for the blood god. The demon world of Darrell. The high world of Darrell was not the most pious of cities before the coming of the Heroclix anomaly, and once Slaanesh got its sinful fingers into the spired nobles, it was impossible for anyone to stop what was coming. When the anomaly first manifested, the first thing that was affected was Hive Primus, the seat of the planetary governor. The Hive City was transformed from a majestic structure of stone and steel into one of flesh. Those that were unlucky enough to have habitation quarters on the outer edges found themselves being drawn into the wall. Their bodies formed the mortar that would hold this new structure together. Their mouths were placed facing inwards, so that all could hear the moans of ecstasy and cries of agony that Slaanesh could bring to those that he favored. The upper spires became dens of decadence and excess. The middle hive is a gathering place where all can worship Slaanesh in any manner they choose. The hive itself became a single, grand temple to Slaanesh. Demon world of Eidolon. Eidolon is a former Eldar maiden world, hidden deep in the heart of the Eye of Terror. The landmass of the planet is in a constant state of flux, and is divided into 4 empires, each one claimed by one of the 4 ruinous powers, who wage eternal wars to encroach into their rivals' territory on the world. The planet is supposedly home to many valuable ancient artifacts dating back to the fall of the Eldar. Fool's Paradise is a demon world ruled over by the demon prince Magog. In the 999th year of the 41st millennium, Colonel Schaefer and his 13th Penal Legion led a raid on the planet. Though they succeeded in their mission to slay the demon, only 2 of the Imperial soldiers survived the battle. The demon world of Magog. Magog has been drawn into and exited from the Heroclix anomaly countless times, in the millennium since the disturbance first appeared. These transitions have had substantial effects upon its only inhabitable planet, and those who dwell upon it. Once this was a stable agri-world, filled with citizens loyal to the God Emperor and the Imperial Creed. Now it is a breeding ground and a training center for the forces of corruption, and extended into the Jericho Reach. The planet's environment and indigenous life all bears the taint of the warp. In addition to those surviving humans, the planet is also rife with the creatures spawned from the warp. These foul demons closely interact with the tainted humans, breeding mutants and providing a seamlessly endless supply of further soldiers for the forces of the Dark Gods. Their presence serves as a powerful motivation for the tainted humans as they pay their obedience. The mortals are constantly driven to commit acts of debauchery and cruelty in their service. And those were 40 facts about demon worlds. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Happy Halloween to you. We're going to keep going on with some more chaotically awesome lore, so please subscribe to the channel to get more lore. Don't forget to like, comment, if you're already a subscriber, because by you doing that, it really helps out the channel and it helps us to continue to put out lore videos for you guys. Comment down below and let me know what other topics you want to listen to, and I'll catch you in the next episode. This was Gersh1 with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.